I do.
50 years tomorrow, Tony, Sunderland's FA Cup win. Have you channeled some of that FA Cup magic towards it?
I've met a few of the team over this last week, so it's some good characters, some good people. It's football guys. I think for us, we just preparing as best we can for the game, and I think we just have to approach it like the next game, like we have been every game really. Try and control the game if we can. Be aggressive. Play the way we play really. We haven't overly studied Preston. I think it's I don't want to turn it into a cup final scenario. Let's go and play the next game and do what we do really. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's been a long week, a 9-day building, isn't it really? So but yeah, let's get the weekend out the way. It's good that there's football on in the Premier League. We can all sit and keep watching and keep seeing what's happening in the world of football. But yeah, roll on Monday, I think.
Will you keep abreast of what's going on at the other games during your match?
I don't think there's any purpose to it. I'm not sure. I mean, we have to win, don't we? It's so I think the only focus for me will be to win the game, and then I'm sure that there'll be people whispering in your ear telling you what's going on, but I won't be demanding any analysts to feeding it down, because I know our goal is just to win the game, and if everybody else wins and we miss out, we can only do what we can do. It's so we won't be overly worried about it. It's not a situation, is it, where we can draw gets you through, so let's keep it tight the last 10 minutes because we're drawing it. We have to go and win. So I like the clarity of that, and that's what we were trying to do.
Whatever happens, how enjoyable has this season been in relation to all the other times in management?
Listen, I think every season's a roller coaster, really. I would have to say, generally where I've managed over the last 20 years, it's probably West Brom. There was an expectation because they were a relegated team, hadn't started too well, but had really good players, and there's an expectation to make sure you tried to bounce straight back. There's different expectations, I think with this club, I don't think there was an expectation that we should roll straight through back-to-back promotions. I think generally the feedback was consolidation. Hopefully we're not fighting relegation. We middle of the table will be okay this year. So yeah, the team have done it extremely well considering the circumstances around some injury situations we've had. But we go into the last game with excitement for the supporters, and hopefully we can win a football match and see what accrues on the back of it. But I think every season is a roller coaster. You have good days, and you'll know the stats better than me. There'll been spells this season. I read a stat the other day that we'd only won one of the last 8 at home. Come on, if we'd have won half of our games, we'd have been 9 points away. We'd have been threatening the top 2. Do you know what I mean? And yet it's hard. Football's not easy. There's nobody gives you anything. You've got to work really hard, and you've got to have the ingredients to win football matches. It's sat and watched that game last night. The best team in the country playing West Ham, and West Ham for 45 minutes made it really difficult for them, and kept putting balls in the box, kept heading it out. And in the end, they found a way. Really, they kept going, and it's. I think them are the messages that I constantly say out. You've got to keep going. You've got to keep knocking on the door. We've been trying to do that without Erling Haaland, at 6'5" and fast as the wind and elusive, and whatever you want to call him, whatever adjective you put in there. But we've been trying to find a way to be relentless and keep asking questions of teams and keep going and try to find a way to win football matches. And so let's see what happens this weekend or this Monday, and how does it compare to all the other seasons? All right, good, some great days. There's nothing better than winning football matches on a Sunday. You've won, you feel comfortable. You're watching your sons play footy on the Parks field, and it's sun shining. It's great. other days you've got beats, you've got your hood up, you don't want to talk to people who want to know about the result, and it's pouring down, it's blowing a gale, the dog not happy sitting at your feet, he wants to go for a run, and they're hard weekends, but so up and down, I think.
Maybe the last time that Amit Diallo plays for you might be the last time for Edouard Michou as well, and would you like to see him back next year?
Both of them, or one of them?
Well,
well, listen, the loans manager from Man United was here yesterday. I had a long chat with him, and I was saying it's a shame we didn't do a 2-year loan, and we're halfway through it there. But I don't listen. Let's wait and see. Edouard is a young footballer who's shown what a talent he is, and what an exceptionally good footballer he is, and a young guy thrust to a different country into a football squad, and the positive for him is he had some French speakers around him as well, and and as I sit here now, we haven't ultimately made the decision. We want to get the season finished, we want to see what happens, how it goes, and then it's a two-way conversation really. Edouard has to decide whether he's enjoyed it enough, whether he's played enough game time, whether he thinks the way we play suits him, and we have to decide whether the cost attached to Edouard is appropriate for what we will have to try and add to the team and strengthen in all areas of the pitch.
Tony, you touched on it, but there is the simplicity to it from your point of view. In that the situation doesn't really change. You're just going to win a football match because that's what you've got to do.
Yeah, I think so, and that's. I think I said that after the game the other day. It's all right if you were sitting sixth now and thinking, oh God, if other teams, draw might be enough. You're not sure. I think for us we have to go and win, and so we'll be really positive from the off. I don't think we need to be cagey, and it's not nice sometimes when you're 1-0 up, you go into the last 20 minutes, you got people whispering in your ear that the other teams are drawing, draws enough, and then you don't know whether they're going to score last minute goals. I think knowing that you have to win, we'll keep going right to the end, however long that end is, 90 minutes, 95 minutes, 100 minutes, we'll just keep going and try and make sure at the end of it we come out with 3 points. I think the goal difference side of it for us is pretty positive in just about all aspects. It's if we win a football match, Coventry for instance, if Coventry get beat 1-0 and we win 1-0, the goals scored should take us above Coventry, because even though the goal difference will be the same, it's and everybody's aware of all that stuff. So I think our goals difference is pretty positive, but we know we have to just go and win the game. I don't think there's a scenario where we're not sure whether it should be attacking or defending or keep the score as it is. It's let's go and try and win.
And last week was a good example of you've got a squad that will go to the last minute for you as well.
Yeah, I think we've shown that pretty consistently. I think it's. I think there's a lack of fear in the team. I think there are a lot of young players who just want to play, and I think let's pick a team that can go to Preston and be very competitive. They obviously had a disappointing result last weekend, and. I don't think they can get there now. It'd be interesting to see how they perform, but playing at home in front of your fans last day of the season on the back of what's been a pretty positive season for them, I'm sure that they'll be giving everything to try and finish on a high and enjoy the walk around the pitch at the end of the game for themselves. But we have to try and make sure it's a difficult day.
Just slightly off, I mentioned the 50th anniversary. Obviously you and the players have got a lot on your minds this weekend, but for the club, for the city, it's important to mark the moment, isn't it? Because the club and the city is lucky to have had a moment like that.
Yeah, listen, I'm not sure which way they are. They're going to mark it. I had a dinner this week at the stadium in the boardroom with the lads and their partners, and it was really enjoyable. Really, there's some real good characters there, but. 50 years, gosh, just seems a long time, because I can remember sitting there watching the game, and as I've told you, it was one of my first proper memories really. I think the World Cup in 1970 was a big memory. The FA Cup in 1970, Leeds Chelsea was a big memory. But 1973 was probably the next massive memory of football for me as a young, probably 9-year-old kid. And Cup final day in them days was a proper family event with the curtains drawn and the buffet done and all my dad's mates from the pub all there, and it was a proper guys do really, and I think it was one of the top days. I know football on telly really in them days as well, and to get live games was fantastic, and to see Ian Porterfield score the winner, but to see Monty's amazing double save and all them things is it's an iconic moment in the history. So the club, rightly should celebrate it, and for them players, it's still a fantastic. I'm sure they're still revered around the city, and for me, we're just trying to make the supporters happy with the team, the current team, this young, hopefully exciting team. We have to make our own mark in history somewhere along the line, and so if we could get a positive result and a positive outcome, and find our way battling through the playoffs and create our own iconic moment in history, hopefully.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Cheers.
Scott. Just on the back of that, do you think the players kind of are aware of it, and are you someone who likes to make sure the players are aware of the club's history? Like, we spoke to Dan Neil in the week, and obviously he's fully aware of it being a Sunderland lad, but there'll be players who the 1973 Cup final, before they came here, wouldn't have had any register, obviously, from abroad or whatever. Are you someone who likes the players to get immersed in the history?
I don't sit them around the table and give them a history lesson on it, no, but I'd like to talk football. I'm constantly telling them, have you seen my goal at Wembley 2000 header back stick? Go and get it up on YouTube. But no, listen, I can do all that stuff. I was talking about Giles and Bremner, the players who played against Sunderland in the 73. I was telling him yesterday, get it up and watch. He didn't know who Billy Bremner was. He said, I don't know who Billy Bremner is. So this is lads who were 18, 19 year old and didn't know who Billy Bremner was, and yet the name rang a bell. And I'm saying, come on, listen, get on your phone when you finish training, go and put Billy Bremner in. I was telling him to go and watch it. I think it was 7-0 against Southampton with all the little back heels and the little taking the mickey, weren't they, on the pitch. I was saying, just go and have a look, see what you think, son. It's interesting. I like footballers to like football. I like to come in and say, did you see the game last night? What do you think? City struggled first half. What about Haaland's run for his goal? What do you think? I want them to love football, really, because I think the more you love it, the more you get wrapped up in it, the more you want to be. You have a pathway, you want to get to that level. They should all want to play against Man City at the Etihad with Haaland playing up front, and tell their grandkids or so, and so maybe in 20 years' time they say, get the footage of when we were at Sunderland, we won 3-0 at Man City, and Haaland was up front, and I scored that one where I stuck it through his legs and bent it in the corner. Why wouldn't you want to do that? It's. But yeah, I don't tell the young French kids, for instance, to go and watch the Cup final 73. No, but because as I've said, dealing with young people, it's quite interesting, really. If they don't show an interest in football, I can't. It's not. I don't want to bang it into them. They either love it or they don't love it. Some footballers have just got amazing talent, amazing speed, or amazing power, or amazing passing technique, but they don't really watch footy. My preference would be that they all love it. They're all students of the game. They all want to get better. They all have idols that they want to replicate. And but reality is they're not. They don't really, and you have to accept that. And you don't bash them with a big stick over it because they don't love the game. But they have to perform to get in your team and be good enough to help the team win football matches.
Team news, no surprises, positive or negative?
I hope not. No, listen, there was one or two not training today for different reasons, without giving any names away. One woke up with a crick neck and his neck was a bit stiff, and modern day footballers, that's enough for them not to train, It's one wasn't feeling well, but it'll be alright in the next day or two. I'm hoping by come Saturday we'll have Saturday Sunday training before going and playing on Monday, and we'll have a full squad of what's been the squad.
No change with Ballard.
No, Ballard won't be affecting this game.
And what's your kind of experience been like as a manager in these kind of last days where you've needed something or you've needed other results to go or whatever? What positive memories, negative memories, bit of both? As
a manager, well, got beaten a playoff final once, so we obviously got to the playoffs that year. Yeah, listen, as a footballer at Ipswich Town, we had 4 years on the playoffs, 4 years on the bounce on the playoffs. The first 3 got beat in the semi-finals. Last one we won at Wembley. As a manager, as I say, West Brom, we got to the final.
Obviously Borough
Borough's a player a few times. Didn't have playoffs in Scotland, but I've had lots of playoff experience, to be honest. Last day of the season, looking for results and stuff, I don't really try to get wrapped up in that. I've said to the staff, I don't want the analysts telling me the score. I'm not interested. If there's something dramatic, then no problem. Just come over and whisper in my ear, this has happened. But I have to focus on us winning this football match and making sure everybody's at it. So and at the end of the day, what will be. I can't change it. All I can affect is the game in front of us.
And you're meeting with Man United in the week, I mean, presumably they're delighted with Ahmad and the way that he's been and the progress he's made, aren't they? Because obviously he had the rough loan last time, but this has been kind of chalk and cheese compared to that for him, you would imagine.
Yeah, I think they're happy. I think I think the next step for them is for them to take him on pre-season to America, I think, and see how he gets on. They know what they've got. They bought him and I think the new manager came in and it was right on the cusp, and he liked some of the stuff and then he wasn't sure, then he liked some of the stuff and then he wasn't sure. He'll have obviously, if he does what I do, and I'm sure he does, he will watch Ahmed's clips from games. On a Monday morning he'll come in and as I watch Mateti and all our players are out on loan, and Jacko and stuff like that. He got sent off the other week. It's I'm sure Ten Hag will be watching and seeing what he can do, and yet he'll need to feel him on a daily basis, I think, of what he brings. And I know in the world we live on social media, everybody will have an opinion whether he's good enough or not good enough for Man United. And but reality is the manager needs to watch him, see him, feel him in a game, see what he brings, and see whether he can get to the level of trust.